Welcome back. You're watching Big Deal, and we are putting the spotlight on fundraising activity as well as India allocation. Now, Sudhir, one thing is clear that there is rebalancing which India is gaining from overseas and globally. Now, rebalancing in terms of the sector focus and the choice of investment is also taking place. Do you think that the digital and the new age space had capitalized a lot, and now the liquidity constraint as well as accidents in the startup world has come to bite this particular space? What's your view for this year?
So I think the so-called balancing is in two forms. One is when the investors look at us as a GP, it's an execution capability evaluation, and they're looking at everything in a much more deeper manner. Valuation risks, should they drop off, whether co-investment opportunities are available, governance, very big, as you rightly mentioned, both at the fund level as well as the portfolio level, and how are you able to return, churn in the team, and so on and so forth. So I think there are KPIs now VCs have to make, and which is very clearly proving to the investor that we can take care of their capital and give adequate returns. That's on the LP side. On the sector side, I think, and I'm talking about VCs because a bulk of the VC investments go into technology.
Yes.
It's a every tech issue. The 4 or 5 sectors which will continue to get the bulk of the capital. This includes consumer, SaaS, fintech, healthcare, and B2B. Adding to that is other sectors like agri-tech. Manufacturing is coming back in a very big way. Many of our companies are moving their manufacturing from China to India. In our portfolio in consumer, we have 7 manufacturing units, 80 odd subcontracting units right now. So, but the last most, so every sector which is high tech and more tech, more differentiated on a global basis, which is going to be potentially yielding returns, is something which is going to be very important. India, by the way, is delivering more and more deep tech companies, which, let's say 6-7 years back, I used to compare the best in India. Now one is comparing are they best in the world and unique and differentiated in the world. So I think the moat has got better, higher. The execution skills of building and backing entrepreneurs to a bigger level is far being looked at with a deeper lens by LPs, whether they're Indian LPs or global LPs.
All right. But as you rightly mentioned, that some of the return parameters have to prove themselves for more money to really come in. Neha Grover, you play the role of an LP also in India, co-invest as well as make direct investments. What is going to be your focus for India for this year, and also in terms of themes?
Sure. So on the direct investing side, when we look at IFC priorities, we're a development financial institution. We invest in, we have strategic priorities that we've identified for the country, which include things like inclusion, financial inclusion, healthcare inclusion, access to basic products and services. We've got the real sector, which is manufacturing, agri, which are big sort of themes for us. And the third big theme for us will be infrastructure. So physical infrastructure, digital infrastructure, that again is a big strategic priority for us. The fourth one is investing in funds and in direct technology companies. That's sort of, these are the 4 sort of founding pillars of our strategy and what we prioritize on. If I look at the private equity industry and step back as an LP, and where we are seeing the dollars go, majority of the dollars in the private equity and VC side go in 4 broad themes or 4 broad sectors. Historically, it's been financial services, healthcare, pharma, consumer, and tech, more the traditional tech.
Yes.
Overlay that with technology. I think each of these sectors now has a separate subsegment, which is the tech segment, the digital segment, and we're seeing a lot of dollars go there. Manufacturing is one big theme. And then on top of this, if we overlay the whole sustainability theme, gender theme, themes like MSME, these are big focus areas for us. And we are seeing our funds also focus on not just the core sectors, But within these sort of sectors, the sub-themes and the subsectors that I talked about.
All right. So these are your sectors of focus. And surprisingly, of course, for you, infrastructure is core, but a lot of private equity players, apart from the four choice sectors of private equity, have been now talking about infrastructure, real estate, as well as manufacturing. Srikrishna, final word and a very quick one, your sector theme and one sector which you are most keen on in terms of opportunity.
I think I'm not going to say anything different from what Neha just summarized. The four sectors that she mentioned are the ones that we've been focusing on for the last 10 plus years. In those, I won't pick favorites. We believe that each of those sectors have very strong opportunity for the next 5-10 years, and it is our responsibility to compete effectively in that against a lot of high quality players. And as we have probably done in the last 25 years, continue to do what we are good at doing, being a collaborative partner to high quality companies and bring something more than just capital to them to be able to be a relevant investor.
All right. The positivity and optimism about India investments that is being exuded by this particular panel is quite infectious, I must say. And thank you so much for all your insights on the LP view as well as fundraising activity and India allocations. All three of you, Sudhir, Neha, as well as Srikrishna, thank you so much for joining us right here on CNBC-TV18. So the verdict is clear that a lot of money is really flowing into India. Allocations have been higher by global investors. Indian homegrown private equity as well as venture capital community stands to gain from it. And a lot of capital, growth capital, is making its way to the Indian companies for this year and in the near future. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Big Deal. Thanks so much for tuning in.